Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about making a contact card. As you can see here, this is the contact card I made. It seems it's a basic one. You can do whatever you want with it, add some color, stuff like that, but this is what we're going to build today. Okay. Now, there's two different ways you could do this, or three if you want to look at it that way. You could either use a SharePoint list for your raw data. You can use Azure AD to pull and do this, or you can do the combination of the two, which is what I got here. Okay. This is a combo box up here. This is just the title of my position, and then email address, office location, work phone, department, and DoD ID number can be pulled from Azure AD. Okay. The rank, the mailing address, the home phone is being pulled from SharePoint lists. Also, from Azure AD, you can pull a picture or Teams or anything like that. These other three pictures I put on here are just pictures. Okay, they don't show up unless there's well, the airplane will be there no matter what. But these two bottom pictures won't show up until someone is resolved inside this combo box. Okay, so if we go into here and we play this. And I take my name out. As you can see, everything disappears. Now, I have a few other people inside my AD. This is my own personal sandbox, so there's not a lot of accounts in here, but as you notice, if things are missing, it turns the box red to draw attention to it, to let you know, hey, something's missing. Okay. I didn't do that with the SharePoint list items, but I did do it with the Azure things. Okay, that's just a fill command, and I'll show you how to do that later. All right, so we're gonna build this out. Okay, first thing that I want to show you though is my SharePoint list that I got set up. It's a pretty simple list. It's just, you know, basic information you have find in a contact list most of the time. Now keep in mind, when I built this original list, I was still in the military. You know, I was in the Army, so that's why there's ranks and stuff like that. Okay, but most everything else, other than the unit and the rank, it's adaptable to anything you want to use. Okay, you got your name of contact. The DoD ID number is just the employee ID inside Azure. That number could really mean anything. It's just there as an additional property. Phone number, display order, that's if you want them in a certain order on this thing, but most of the time you're not going to see this. And I'm going to show you one additional step later on. We're going to build it out on how you can make a directory from the SharePoint list and then still pull the information from Azure. That's if you want to limit the number of people being resolved. If you want the whole entire directory available, then you don't need to do that extra step. Desired title, department, first name, last name, full name, email, home address, state, city, SIP, so on and so forth. Right? Alright, so there's that. So let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and create another screen. As you can see, I only have one screen here. This is all there is. This is the whole thing right here. You basically put their name in there and everything pops in. Okay, as long as this name matches up, or this email matches up with something in your contact list, everything will be filled in. Okay, so let's go ahead and just make it. Now keep in mind, this is just a Canvas app, and only data connections I pulled in are Office 365 users, Office 365 groups, and contacts. Okay, so on this screen right here, first you're going to do is you're going to put a combo box. Okay, you got to be able to search for the name, right? But before we start this, we're gonna change the screen to something else. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this screen to push to the other screen. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna insert a gallery. So you go under layout. I like blank flexible height, but you could use a blank vertical to do the same thing. But I always tend to go with this because I like it. All right. So we're gonna select contacts as our gallery, right? And then I'm going to make this the whole screen. Now granted, you would never do this usually because you're going to have, you know, like a header across the top and other things, you know, but you don't have to do that. And all you need on this screen is their name, okay? So you're going to insert a label. Do it in the upper right hand corner here. We can make it pretty long if you want. And you're going to put the name of their contact, right? So you're going to go into your list and see which one it is. Okay, name of contact's what I want. Okay, so let's go in here. Name. There it is. I guess it's just being slow. Name of contact. Dot. Display name. It's a people picker field inside SharePoint, so now we want our template size to match our label, right? So you come in here, go to template size, and we're going to do label 1 dot height. Okay, and that will make it, depending on how big that label is, that's how big your template size will be. Okay, so now you got all your things in here. So let's add a little color to this so it doesn't look so plain. So we'll go down to template fill. Make it like a light blue color, so let's see. Do like this color. And then we're going to add a rectangle in here just so we have a line in here. Dang it, I forgot to click inside the gallery. Now let's insert our rectangle. Move it all to the left. We're going to make the height like 1. And then the width is going to be the whole width of the gallery, right? So we want to have it, so it'll be gallery 1 dot template width, and then we're going to set our Y value. We want it at the bottom of under the label, right? So we're going to go gallery 1 dot template height. Boom, it's at the bottom. Okay, so now you got your list. Okay, another thing I do is I turn off the scroll bar and I turn on navigation. It just looks cleaner. Now, the other screen I'm going to make is going to have the data, right? Now, you can either do it this way. This is how you limit how many contacts you look up. If you want to look up everybody in AD, you're not going to do this gallery step, okay? And all you have to do for this to work on the other screen is you select the whole row. Mind you, I have no icons in here. Okay, this is the easiest way to do it. Just select the whole row. Okay, and then you're going to go to on select. Where it went? There it is. You're going to set 2 things in here. Okay, first thing you do is you're going to set. You want this record to get carried forward through their screen, so you're going to go set. We'll call it show record. Actually, make sure you put a VAR in the front. That way you know it's a variable. It's a way of identifying what that object is. And then put this item. And you close it. Okay. What that do is it'll take whatever record, whichever item you select, it'll take that whole record and it'll be available inside that variable. Okay. It'll turn it into a record variable. Okay. And then you're going to do a navigate. And then whatever screen name it is. So we're just going to do this and we're going to close it. It's going to have an error, but we don't have a screen made for it. So next step we're going to do is we're going to do the other thing. Okay, this is our screen. people selection, right? That's if you only want to restrict it, okay? Now, our other screen we're going to make it the same way, okay? We'll call it screen contact card, okay? So first thing we're going to do, now we're just going to make a custom form, okay? Form control doesn't really work in this type of scenario. Now keep in mind, custom cards require a little more work on your part, but you have more flexibility, okay? So we're going to go in here. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to put a we're going to build the card without let's pretend that first screen don't exist, okay? We're going to build it where they're going to just select from a people picker and it's going to work off of that, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to first insert, we're going to insert a label, and we'll call it name. Oops, didn't capitalize it. Name, okay? Then we're going to put a combo box in there. So you got to go up under input. Now keep in mind, a combo box and a drop down are similar in function, but a drop down cannot search for people, okay? So it's really important that you understand that. Because when you go to do the search text function in there, it's not going to recognize it. Drop down is good for using tables, but it's not, you can't use Azure as a table. Alright, so under items, what you're going to do is you're going to put Office 365 users, search tag, search user, is item search term, and then the name of the field. Okay, now recently the Pro Word Self came out and it basically refers to the field you're in, okay? So you don't have to know the name anymore, you just type self dot and whatever you're looking for. So you search text. Now you can also do top 3, stuff like that. Here it says top, you can do your top searches, but when I get done with this command you won't need that. So we're just going to close it out and be done. Alright, now the side effect of this is when you click in here to search, it brings up everybody in the directory. Oh, come on, really? Oops, going backwards, didn't I? I keep forgetting, you just hold Alt and scroll, it'll it'll take you back, or it'll take you out of the app. So don't do that. Fortunately, it usually saves my stuff. We'll see here in a second once it reloads. So stand by. So now we're back where we left off. So I added something extra to it. Okay. I want to change it, right? So we'll come back. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the beginning. You're going to type if self dot search oops, just trying to do 2 things at once here. Alright, search being difficult. Search dot text. Oops, I forgot another word. Exclamation is blank. Okay, that exclamation point is very, very important. It's saying it won't run this command unless it is not blank. Okay, which means the search. Okay, so put a comma in there. Go to the end, put another parentheses for the if statement, and now it should work. Okay, so if we run this, we go in here now, it's not. Okay, I always forget a few things here. You need to change, why does that look so weird now? Alright, you're going to change these to display name. It defaults to city for some reason. It's dumb. Okay, and then you need to make sure that your searching is turned on and you turn off multiple select, because you're not going to do multiple people in this thing. You only need one. Okay. Now when you run it, a way you can tell if searching is turned off, this find items thing will not be in there. Okay, that's how you know, oh, I got to turn searching on. Okay, so we go in here. When you click in here, it doesn't do anything now. It just says, hey, I need some information. So if I type my name in there, you know, now it only pops up. See, everybody with my last name on here, that's everybody in my family. It'll show up, and then boom, it's in there. Okay. So that's the first part. Okay. Now, if you want to recall this information after it saves to SharePoint, if you do it that way, what you got to do now, the last thing you do on here is you're going to go to, I'm going to click on the combo box first. You're going to go up to default selected items. Now it's expecting a record. Okay, so you're going to put curly brace, capital value, and then your field name dot selected value, and then you're going to close it. Okay. When you're inside the record, it needs to be text, but we need a record to pull back, otherwise it will not show anything. Okay. I'm not doing that though. This is a search tool, so this will always be blank when you start. Okay. And then what you're going to do now is we're going to bring in some information. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make one. Now this is not going to be anything glamorous or anything. It's just going to be something simple. So what's the first thing we want? Okay, let's look at my main screen again. I don't remember the fields I put in here. It's been long enough now. All right, email address, office location, and work phone. We'll start with that. Okay. So close this up. Go back to our screen. So first one is going to be email address. Okay. Next one is going to be office location. Maybe just a little wider. Oops, I'm going to move it. I just want to make it bigger. Okay. And then our last one, work phone, right? Now these here are going to be labels as well, because you don't want them changing, right? Now sometimes you want to make it so they're changeable, like if you're entering information like for a form or something. But since we're just bringing up information, we don't really care if it's changeable or not, so we're just going to make labels out of it. Okay. Well, computer, you're being dumb tonight. Alright, so I'm going to put a label right here. I'll make it obviously longer because it's the email address. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work off of this combo box, right? So whatever the combo box name is, so let's give it a name so we know what it is. So that combo box one. Combo box name. Okay. We'll keep it simple. Oh, I must have called that my other one. So we'll go CB name one. I know that one I use. Alright, so I'm going to copy that information. Alright, so we'll go here. Wait, nope. Sorry. You're going to do a user profile search. Okay? We're going to use the email address from the combo box to identify everything else. Okay? We're going to use that as our primary key information. Okay? So here we go. Office 365 users dot user profile. You're going to put combo box 1 dot selected. Spell today. Mail. Close it, and the dot would be what you're looking for. Okay. Since we're doing this is the email address, we'll just do mail. Now, since we already have an email address, I could just note. I can get rid of all that stuff. So I'm going to copy this, so I don't have to retype it over and over. Okay. But we could do this instead, since it's the email address we're dealing with. I can get rid of everything outside that combo box information, and it'll still work. See? Alright, so office location. Let's insert a label. We're going to come down here. Make it a little wider. We're going to replace this with this. Change this back and go office location. Alright, you see it comes up blank. Okay, so what I did on my form is if something came up blank, I put a default value in there of some sort. I didn't leave it blank. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. We can do this. It goes if is blank, put parentheses around it, dot, and then put this closed location given. And if it isn't blank, put the office location and then you close it. So now it just, since it's blank, now it says no disclosed location given. Okay? You can do it however you want, but it always looks bad if you have blank stuff in there. It makes it look like it's missing stuff. Okay? This shows that it's intentionally saying that because it's a blank field. Okay? Work phone. Okay? So let's do another label. Now, depending on how they formatted your information, you may want to put some formatting of your own in here. But you start with your base command. Now, phone numbers are tricky. The phone number field is a record field inside Azure. Okay, so it means it's got more than one piece of information in there. Okay, so now I know the very first phone number is the business phone inside that record. Okay, because you got business phone, cell, personal phone, pager, and something else. There's 5 of them. Okay, but I know the first one is business phone, so we want to use the first one. Okay, so it's business phones, but you notice it gives us error. It comes back with a table, right? It's because there's multiple phone numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a first command up front, and then close that dot value. Okay, that gets it down to 1 number. Okay, so in my Azure, there's no symbols or anything. It just says numbers. So I want to format that. So command I'll put text. Now, in order to use the text command to convert this text value to a phone number type value, you've got to change it to a number field. Okay, so you're going to put the word value up here first. Okay, then you come here, you're going to close this off, comma, and then you're going to put what format you want it in. Okay, so we want it in the normal business format, right? Okay. see what it did? It changed it to a phone number, what you're accustomed to. Now here's the problem. If the phone number comes up blank, it's going to show a left and right parentheses and a hyphen all together. It's going to look funky as hell. So you want to fix that. Okay, so now we got to put in a little more validation. Okay, so if you go if, and then I'm going to grab only this information right here. Actually grab from first all the way to end of value. Do not get the last parentheses. Okay, you copy that, and you put exclamation is blank. Put that whole thing in there, close it, and put a comma. Alright, so let's just format this a little bit so it's easier to read. Okay. So basically it's saying when you look up this value, I use the is blank function up front, okay? Now when you use the exclamation point, that means not. It means the opposite. Okay? So it is not blank, run this command. Otherwise, make a blank one. Okay, and then you close it. Now, since it's got something in there, nothing changed, right? Now, if for some reason my phone number isn't in there, it just will show a blank field now. And that's how you fix that. Okay? So those are the first three. So let's go back to my main screen. Next three is rank, DOD ID number, and department. Okay. The DOD ID number, or the employee ID number, I actually showed you that in another video, so I'm not going to repeat the process of bringing that in. But if you are interested, if you look in my videos, you'll see it. It says pulling an employee ID number from Azure AD. I'll put the link in the description, or in the comment, no, in the description of this video. Okay. Now I'll show you how. Now rank is being pulled from the SharePoint list. Okay. Department is from Azure. Okay. So let's do department and DOD number next. Okay. So we'll go back to our screen, and I'm going to copy this, copy it again. So we'll make this one DODIE number. Okay, and this one will be the specification. It was. I'm trying to remember now. Oh, department. I knew that didn't sound right. So this one will be department. It's being difficult. My peers don't like me today. Alright, so we're going to bring in two more text field, or two more labels. Okay. Oops. Wrong one. Text label. Bring it right here. Now, as described in the other video, this information is getting pulled using Microsoft Flow and pulled into a variable and then sent back to Power Apps. Okay. I think I called my variable. I don't remember what I called it. It's been long enough since I did this now. I don't remember. So I'm just going to look in my little variables and it'll tell me. I didn't make that many. Oh, it's called the ODID. Okay, so I'll replace this with the ODID. And boom, there it is. Okay, now this is a variable pulled that's been sent back from Flow. And if you look right here in my app start here, if I go to the right property on start, I must have put it on my screen. Okay, I don't remember how I did it. I built this app a while ago, so I must trigger it out the combo box then. I remember how I did this. Probably on my on change, more than likely. Yeah, here it is. Here's my flow that I used. I'm sending the email address to the person who's actually in this combo box. And then the variable coming back out of flow is called EMPID. And then it takes all this, packages it up, and puts it in this variable right here called DODID. And then that's why I put that in there. Okay. Next one is department. Okay, department's going to be similar to these. So let's grab this one. I don't have to change it that much that way. Alright, so I'll bring it down here. And then I'm going to get rid of everything here. And then I'm going to select department. Okay, and if there's something there, it'll put it in there. Alright, so, and then one other thing you can pull is the role of that person, right? This right here. And it's using job title. Now this one can be pulled right from the combo box. Okay, this don't have to go through Azure. Okay, so let's go back down to our port here, and we'll make another one called job title. Like I said, this is just a crude recreation of it. I'm not trying to get into it all craziness here. Okay. And then we're going to insert another text label. And down here. And it's going to CV name 1 dot selected dot job title. Boom, there it is. As you see, I did some creative, styling and stuff to make my stuff look right the way it does. And there's that. Now, the ones I'm going to show you now are the ones that are connected to the SharePoint list. Okay. Now, let's go back here. I don't remember what I called them. All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do rank. Okay. Here, I'm just going to grab these labels, it'll be easier, and try to remember what they all are. I think that's it. Alright, so let's go back to our contact card, and I'm going to paste these in here. Oops, that's not I copied them. Let's try it again. Got this one, this one, and this one. Copy. And paste. Alright, so I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to make a second row so that way you can see definitely doesn't need to be that long. Okay. And a third one. Okay. I'm going to bring this down a little bit because the whole mailing address, I'm going to show you something that I did differently so that way it looked like an actual mailing address. Alright, rank. So I'm going to grab this one again. Actually, no, I'm just going to start with a fresh one. Because this one is being pulled from SharePoint, so it's a little different method. Okay, we're going to do, instead of using Office 365 users function, we're going to use a lookup. We're going to use the email address as our hinge. Okay, so you're going to go look up your data source, which is contacts, right? And then you got to put a condition in there. Okay, so we're going to do email equals CV name 1 dot selected dot mail, and then we grab the property, okay, that we want. rank. So it's rank of individual is the actual thing. Now since it's a drop down, you got to put additional information there, so it's dot value. Okay, and it pulls back that information based on who you selected in there. Now, if you select somebody who's not in the list, of course nothing's going to come back because it ain't going to find anything. It might actually give you an error. Okay, so you got to be careful. That's why it's always better just if you're going to include a SharePoint list, only restrict it to certain people. That way you don't have to worry about this happening. Okay. Now I'm going to grab this whole thing, this whole mess. Okay, and we're going to create another text, label. Now, what I did here is I made it so it looks like a traditional mailing address, right? We already know the name, so I'm not going to put that as the first line. I'm going to put that. My first line is going to be the actual street address. Okay, so I'm going to do this. So it's essentially going to be the same way. All we're going to change is after the dot, home street address. Okay, boom, there it is. All right, now the next command I'm going to do is a concatenation of 3 different pieces of information. So it's going to look a little complex, but it's not horrible. Okay, so we come in here. We're going to make this a little longer, and then you're going to go same thing though. Put that in there. We're going to remove everything after the dot. We're going to go city. Okay, and then we're going to go and now remember, when you use after and, a single one, that's for concatenation. Use 2 for the and function, A-N-D. And we're going to put a comma in there. And then we're going to add our state in there. Statue. Okay. State. And space. Or zip code. Postal code. Okay, I can't remember what I called it. Alright, as you can see, it created our city, state, and zip code. So it looks like a legitimate email handle, even though it's 2 fields. But when you run your app doing control Z over, so it's going to look like 1 field. And then the last one is a personal number, right? The number that's recorded in the contact list. So we'll bring him down here. Now we're going to run into the same problem we did with the other phone number, okay? The formatting, right? But if you make sure your list is right, you don't have to do any extraordinary measures to make sure it looks right. So we're going to bring in our phone number. Okay, that's my actual cell phone number, but who cares? Now, if you want to format it, obviously you can go into your text function and do it the same way we did the last one. Now you don't have to use the pound symbol. You can use zeros or numbers, whatever. You just need to let the test command know you're expecting numbers in there. Okay, and it's reformatted. And then if you run into a blank field, you're going to have that same problem you did with the other one. So you have to put that if statement in there to say, hey, if it's blank, if it's not blank, do this. If it is blank, you do this. Okay. And that's literally the whole thing. Now, like I said, I added some extra stuff in there, like if the field is blank, it turns the whole thing red. And I moved stuff around, I added colors, It's best when you make these things to keep it dynamic as possible. Okay? Now, one last thing I want to show you is how to integrate that first screen into this one. Okay? Now, it's actually easier to do it this way than it is to use the combo box. Okay? So remember, on our thing here, on our on select, I set a variable, right? Oh, I need the whole row, not just part of it. I think it's trying to be difficult with me. All right. I set this record. I set this thing called bare shell record, right? So all you do, so it shows that, is like for here, you can actually set it so it does this. Bare shell record dot. Now remember, we got the whole record in here now, right? Okay. Remember, we connected this to our SharePoint list, so this is only going to show the SharePoint list information. If it doesn't live in your SharePoint list, then you've got to use Azure to do it. And you basically do it the same way you did with the combo box. You just are pointing it somewhere else. Okay. So we'll do email. Okay. My email is blank. Okay. So in this case, I'm not going to use that. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the way it was. So we're going to put CV name 1. Now, let's use this, for example. Okay, so let's pretend that combo box don't exist. Okay, we're going to slowly use that record. Now, the email address is really important because that is your identifier of your record in Azure. Okay, so it's important you put that email address in there. Okay, so my email address don't exist, but I'm still going to show you how to do it. So you'll go Office 365, users, oh that's right, I just don't want to do it this way. You're still going to use user profile, but you're going to reference their record, bare shell record dot email dot mail. Okay, it's giving me an error because my email address in my email slot is blank. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to change this back. Okay, that's how you do it. That's how you would do it if the email address existed. Okay, actually, let's go back. We're gonna leave it. We're not gonna do it that way. I'll show you this later on. I need the email address to exist. Okay, so we're not gonna use my record. We're gonna use somebody else's. Okay. All right, where to go? That one. It's why important. It's important to label this stuff. Oh, I must have deleted it. Okay, let's undo it. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go back. We're going to select a different name instead of using mine. Okay, so let's come back here. Let's look in here and see which one's got email addresses. Oh, I do have an email address right here. I wonder why it didn't come up. Oh, I know why. I don't think I selected anybody in my gallery. Alright, so let's go ahead and select somebody. We'll go here. Oh, I didn't navigate. I didn't create the other. I gotta finish up this command, don't I? Alright. Okay. So, screen contact card. Okay, so let's go here. Let's select the whole row. Nope, the whole row. And we're gonna put in our screen name. So, FCR contact card. And we'll do it on a fade. Okay. Now it should work. Alright, so select my name. Now, we'll come in here. All I should have to do is go there, show record dot email, and boom. See, it stayed. So it did work. All right. Now we know office location, via work phone, all that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go to each one of these, and I'm going to change it. All I'm going to change is where the email is coming from. Okay. So anywhere it says CB name 1, whatever, I'm going to change that to my very record email. Okay. Now if I put it on the right spots, it will show the correct information. Now work phone, same thing. Okay. And where it says CB name, I should have just assigned a variable to this. It would have been easier. But I'm trying to keep it simple for you guys. Alright, DOD ID number. That's pretty much. Now, that's gonna be a little different. Okay, what you're gonna do, you're gonna have to go to the flow and change it. Okay, not here. Okay, so instead of it being on the drop down, you're gonna run it on the app start. No, that's wrong. You're gonna run it on the gallery. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go grab that command, which is right here. Except I only want this part of it. Okay, because I don't care about the combo box. That's just for the combo box. All right, so we'll go here. We're going to select the whole row, and then on select, we're going to do one other command, right? We're going to run this in here, and then instead of this, you're going to put that. Oops, I forgot. I copied over it. There, show. This is why it's important that the variable is established first. Okay. Edit. Email. Okay. You've got to establish that variable first, and then run this. Okay. Otherwise, it's not going to work right. Oh wait, I got to get rid of that second. That was when I had the if statement. Okay. Now, what it'll do is it'll create the variable, it'll create the record, right? The record variable. Then it's going to run that workflow to pull in that employee ID, and then set it as DOD ID, and then you navigate to the screen. So now when you do this, it will work. Okay. And I'll show you that here in a minute when I select a different person. All right. Web. Okay. Same thing. Place the name. Go there. Record. Oops. Show record. Email. And then now this one's pulling up the combo box. So unless the job title is stored, I think job title is actually a Office 365 users. Let me look real quick. Bear with me just for a second. Oh, I can't type today. It is. See, there it is. So you do that way. Okay. Even though the combo box isn't there, it still works. Now this is pulled from your list, this is pulled from your list, this is pulled from your list, and so is this. So that's all you have to change. Now, let's go back. Let's go back to the people selection. Alright? And go here. Alright? So let's just pick somebody at random, right? We'll do Diego. Okay, when you open it, okay, I forgot to take this out, but you notice it put all his information in here. You know what I forgot to do? I think, yep, you still gotta change this information. That's why I didn't show his stuff. So, I apologize for that. I should have looked at it closer. Email. So let's grab that. Just gotta do that for each one. You'll notice as I change this stuff, it changes as soon as I apply it. And my trackball is a little touchy. And notice when you highlight something that's repeated in the command, it'll kind of pseudo highlight it. It's not really. It's just showing you where another instance is. Alright, so. Oh, whoops. I screwed this one up here. And then phone number. Alright, so you notice it didn't air out, so that means there's no information there. Okay, now you'll notice that it doesn't show any DoD ID number here, right? But it's not airing out. Okay, see if I open it, if I look at this, see it's a blank value, nothing came back. Okay, so that means the employee ID is blank on AD for that person. Okay. Honestly, in my environment, I think I'm the only one that has one because I needed to test this. So like if I go here and I run my record, as you can see, mine comes in. And see how it's retroactive? Now the cool part is you can make this your start screen and just make it in order, and you can put this on your SharePoint page as a as a Power App preview thing, and you can just, whenever they click on the name, it takes it to their contact card, and that's basically how you do it. It's a neat little thing that you can make, and like I said, I have one here on mine here. I added some pictures and some color, and just made it look a little more professional. I mean, I could have put a gradient in the background or something like that to kind of make it look better. I can put a background image in here, like, I can put the airplane, and then, I can fade it, if I go to the, or we can have a theme, you can do something like this. See how I made it beige in the background? You can do it however you want to do it. But yeah, this is the nuts and bolts on how you make a contact card. You have any questions or comments? Put them in the comment below, and I hope y'all have a very wonderful day.